Have you ever wondered about the man whose name is synonymous with betrayal? Judas Iscariot. He was one of the 12 apostles, a close companion of Jesus, yet he's remembered for one single, devastating act. What led him down this path? Was it greed, political ambition, or something else entirely? Let's dive into one of history's most compelling and tragic stories. Judas Iscariot joined Jesus's inner circle, just like Peter, John, and the others. He was there for the miracles, he heard the teachings firsthand, and he was even entrusted with the group's money. The Gospels tell us he was the treasurer. For years, he walked alongside the man many believed was the Messiah. He was part of the movement, sharing meals, traveling from town to town, and witnessing events that would change the world forever. It's hard to imagine someone so close to the center of it all could be the one to bring it crashing down. So, what went wrong? The most common explanation, found in the Gospel of John, points to greed. It says Judas was a thief who used to help himself to the money bag. The offer of 30 pieces of silver from the chief priests to betray Jesus would have been a powerful temptation for a man with a love for money. 30 pieces of silver, the price of a slave in those times. It seems like a shockingly small amount for such a monumental betrayal, which makes you wonder if money was the only motive. Some scholars suggest a different angle. Maybe Judas wasn't just greedy. Maybe he was a disillusioned revolutionary. Many people at the time expected the Messiah to be a military leader, someone who would overthrow the Roman occupation and restore Israel's national glory. Judas, whose surname Iscariot might link him to a group of zealots or assassins, could have been one of them. Perhaps he grew impatient with Jesus's message of peace, love, and a spiritual kingdom. Maybe he thought that by forcing a confrontation between Jesus and the authorities, he could push Jesus into revealing his true power and starting the rebellion he so desperately wanted. In this view, his betrayal wasn't meant to destroy Jesus, but to force his hand. A high-stakes political gamble that went horribly wrong. Then there's the theological perspective. The Gospels of Luke and John state that Satan entered into Judas. This suggests that he was overcome by a force of evil far greater than himself, making him a pawn in a much larger cosmic struggle. This doesn't necessarily absolve him of responsibility, but it adds a layer of spiritual warfare to the story. It portrays Judas not just as a flawed man, but as a vessel for a dark power set on disrupting a divine plan. Regardless of the motive, the moment of betrayal is chilling. During the Last Supper, Jesus announced that one of his own would betray him. Imagine the shock and confusion around that table. Later, in the Garden of Gethsemane, while Jesus was praying, Judas arrived with a crowd of armed guards. The signal for the arrest? A kiss, an intimate gesture of friendship, twisted into an act of profound treachery. The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him. Those words sealed Jesus's fate and Judas's legacy. The aftermath for Judas was swift and tragic. The Gospels describe him being filled with overwhelming remorse. When he saw that Jesus was condemned to death, he tried to return the 30 pieces of silver, crying out, "I have sinned, for I have betrayed innocent blood." But it was too late. The priests rejected his plea, callously telling him, "What is that to us? That's your responsibility." Consumed by guilt and despair, Judas took his own life. His story doesn't end in redemption, but in a final, desperate act of hopelessness. The story of Judas Iscariot is a timeless and cautionary tale about choice, temptation, and the devastating consequences of our actions. Was he a cold-hearted traitor, a misguided patriot, or a tragic figure caught in a web of forces beyond his control? The Bible gives us clues, but ultimately, the inner workings of his heart and mind remain a mystery. His story forces us to look within ourselves and consider the darkness that can exist even in the closest of circles. It's a powerful reminder of human frailty and the fine line between loyalty and betrayal. What do you think was Judas's true motive? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from history. See you next time.